Good morning. I'm Earl Maupins, and as my previous colleague talked about planting seeds. Well, I'm a gardener, and so for me, planting for the new year is always exciting, very exciting for me. And so when we were planning today's uh, session, we began to look, and the first thing came out of my mind is we're planting a garden. We're bringing together those plans for us, and it's so great for me to look through the catalog and see all the new things and the things of the past that I didn't plant the year before, and say, will I include those into my plan this year? And this time, we're at a very, very tumultuous time, even in this month of March, because we're in Mercury retrograde. So there's always things that seem to not fit in a Mercury retrograde. So this is a good time to be in tune and to begin to plan and to, in a sense, have yourself available to what's coming forth for this upcoming spring and summer as well. So what I like to start out with in any time that I am going to sit and meditate for what is my plans, I always want to be grounded. No matter what stones I choose for these sessions, I always look at what's going to be my grounding stone. And this time I chose shungite. Shungite is a relatively new, the relative new stones that are available, because it was discovered way back in 19 or 12 or something like this, in Russia, and it's the only place it comes from. It's a stone that is able to not only ground you, but also absorb the EMFs. It's a stone that helps to for you to be present, because it cuts all out of that negative energy. It's a stone that is a healing stone on many levels. It's also been used as a stone to put in water and use it as an elixir. And in Russia, the place that was found, which is a lake, they go there for spas, and that spas, they go there and they bathe, and it cleanses all of those energy. It's great for drinking as an elixir, especially if you have any kind of parasites. And you can drink this for 2 days, and the parasites will go scampering in the opposite direction, that's for sure. And I must say that in this store, we had an example of that several months ago that was used. And those things went away without any issue. It's a stone which is very protecting, and that's the thing that's so great about it. So when you want to be grounded, you want to be present, and when you have a sense of protection, then you can be present, because your mind is not wondering on how do I endeavor all these issues that I have. And so that just lets you sit and be with it. And it's a great stone, even if you're not, just in general, if you want to just sit in one day and just be grounded, is to have a piece of shungite at your feet, and let yourself just be present in that moment. So it's also great. It gets rid of Wi-Fi, EF. It's great for putting between you and your computer. Between you can set it where all your computers are set, and you can put it by that, and it deflects all those those things. So it just deflects all that thing. And it's a great stone if you can wear around your neck or on your arm on a regular basis, because it has a great deal of washing away all that kind of energies that can deflect that energy. And so I love shungite for that. I relatively don't use it as much as I really think I should, because sometimes then I forget about it because we're so used to going to, smoky quartz or hematite as a grounding stone. But this is really a great stone for that. And it has a lot of energy, and and if you just sit with it, sometimes you can feel the energy move through your body, because it really is so great at doing that. It's just a stone that's great for your everyday being. It just helps to ease you, calm you, and make you sense of presence for yourself. And that presence is what's so much important. Now, the next stone is, as we were going to, especially when we're quieting ourselves and planning, we want to be able to begin to really connect with where that place is that gives us the most issue, which is usually our third chakra. And so the aventurine, orange aventurine, is one that quietens you, calms you. It raises your confidence. It's great for your second and third chakra. And it's a place where you can be a sense of helping you with the negative feelings, not dispelling the negative feelings, but helping you with the negative feelings. So those feelings that you have, they disperse because you connect with that energy of aventurine. It amplifies your creativity. So when we're planning and we're getting all our seeds for our gardens or the plants we want for the end, it gives us a sense, how can we create what is best for us now? How can we be able to, and have the confidence that we've chosen what we need for how we're going to move forward? Aventurine is a great a sense of, learning you to travel through the journey, because when you are now grounded, you now have the confidence. It gives you the sense to be able to begin to move through the journey and to access those things that you need for that catalog. Now, how and when, and it gives you the chance to make a discerning division that comes from not knowing that my plants are going to grow, but from a knowledge base, but being intuitive about what's best for me for this time. So what I choose when I'm planting my garden all the time is not that what's going to be best, but what is intuitive for me for this year. What's going to be the thing. And I may choose the same thing that I chose last year, but it gives me a sense to be free and have the confidence that I'm choosing what I need for myself. And aventurine is a sense of, it's a great place and what I suggest even with all this, when you're doing this particular thing, is actually to begin to use these stones and to lay them on those chakras that they're emanating with. So this would be you'd have that shungite at your feet, and you'd have this aventurine on your third chakra. So it could sit right in between your third chakra, the second and third chakra, and there it'd be emanate to bring in that sense of confidence and feel that energy that you need to move forward. And it's wonderful, and it's calming. It's easy. It's not threatening for you with aventurine, because it allows you to sense that not only that I'm okay, where I am at this point in time, because I'm present at this time. I'm not looking at necessarily the future. I'm not looking at the past. I'm present at this point, which then you can develop those plans for the future. The next stone is sodalite. And sodalite is a stone for communication. It's usually, it's a nice blue stone with all kinds of white striations in it, and sometimes they're black. Sometimes it's confused to be lapis, but it's totally very distinct from lapis, because lapis usually has gold flecks in it, and this has white flecks in it. So you can very easily distinguish, but it has been chosen for that. But it's for your communication, for your voice, for letting that flow. And also connecting to your third eye as well. Because when you have the sense of being your voice, you're able then better to connect to your third eye as well. So it gives you that sense. It helps to give you a sense of detachment of those worries and those concerns. So it lets you filter out those detachments in a way that they're not bothersome, because it keeps you present. Because it dispels those things and says, those things and those worries, and then brings you back to the present. Because when you're in that sense of worrying about it, then what you're doing, you're creating the more worrying. And this happens to dispel those and let you be calm within that sense and be present in what your directions that you want to go and bring forth what you want for yourself. It helps you to focus, puts you in a place of focus. And it helps you begin in one's journey, the travel and the journey that you want. It gives you that sort of path. It sort of opens the path because you've opened your voice to see to be able to speak what you want. Therefore, it gives you the chance to be traveling those journeys, those steps that you're going to next make, because you physically voice what you said. Even if you've done that voice inward, it begins to give you the steps for that voice. And those steps give you the journey that you're going to create, what you're going to create for this new spring and this new summer for yourself. And gives you a chance to look at the catalog and envision the catalog in a way to see as encompassing and rather than hindering, and that I don't have to choose a whole lot. I can just choose what I need, and therefore I can create what I want. So, it also helps with, in that sense, of that whole spiritual path, of making that spiritual path much more connected for yourself. And in that process, when that spiritual path is that all, you have to remember that all these tools encompass all those energies of you. Not only energies of your physical, but your emotional, but your spiritual as well. So they encompass all those things. And so that makes the plan for you again. And here again, it's like setting up that whole thing. In my last talk, the talk previously that I did, is using that pyramid, that being connecting those 3 points. Because when you have those 3 points connected, then it makes it easy for you to flow, to become, who you want to be and create what you want. So that's what's so important. And the next stone is amethyst. I think we all know amethyst very well. We use amethyst a lot. It's great for our third eye. It helps to open that third eye. It helps to you to feel comfortable with it. You can use it at the top of here on your forehead, and you can use it at the top of your head. But it brings in that intuition and allows you to do that. It stimulates that. It enhances that inner self in you. It balances all those endocrine systems, because when you connect to the third eye, and it just connects to all those systems. So that's a part of the physical part of it. It connects you to your spiritual needs that you need. And by addressing your endocrine system, it makes your physical self be. And when you meditate with amethyst, it allows you to be not only a sense of being up here, but because you're grounded, then it gives you a chance to make that open fuller and fuller and fuller. And it's a great stone. This is a stone also that's great for protection. And it's also a beautiful stone to sleep at night with, because it enhances those sense of dreams for you, and helps you to, and when you're planning like this, it brings in lots of times when you're doing that, it brings in those dreams to help guide you for the next day, for the next month, because all those things unfold, the things you're working on and you create begin to unfold, even in that sense, in your sleep. Because all the sense you must go, that all that energy is working during the time, it's just at a lower rate. So it gives you a chance that your mind is not chattering when you sleep like that. And so it helps you to bring in that energy for what you're going to create and what you're going to plant and what's going to be able for you for this time. And this, and then one stone that I always add to it, and everybody has that, and everybody knows what that is, and that's rose quartz. And I think that's so important to always have a piece of rose quartz in your space for yourself. It connects to your heart. And you can use this stone, you can use so nicely with all three of these stones I've talked about, these other stones, the sodalite, the aventurine, and the amethyst. And you can put those into a group, each together, and use those as a means of just having a little sort of a space for it. So just sort of putting them all together and letting them vibrate with each other. You know, just letting these all sort of vibrate with each other. Let them be a part of that whole sense when you're sitting there, and just letting them activate themselves and connect with that energy, because they're all interchanging and connecting that energy that's going to make you be able to be where, bringing that sense of confidence, bringing that sense of knowing that you know where you're going because you're having intuition, and being in the sense of being present and calming, and attaching to that sense of yourself. Because when you're into yourself and know yourself and have a sense of love and caring for your love, then a sense of everything else begins to just grow. Because that's not complicated when you have that sense of love for yourself. That makes it less complicated. When you know that I love me and I care about me, and that's not a selfish, that's not coming from a selfish point. That's coming from a selfish that I'm full. And there, when you have that sense of fullness for yourself, you can share it. You don't get depleted. You don't become bankrupt, because you have a sense of you. And when you have a sense of you, there's no reason not to share, because you have a sense of fulfillment. And that fulfillment is so important. So what I suggest is that when you do with these stones, that you actually lay them on your chakras and when you're meditating. And a good place to do that, just lay out on the floor, put the shingon at your feet, put the aventurine at your solar plexus, and the sodalite at your throat, and put that amethyst at the top of your head or on your forehead, and let it just illuminate. And just take that piece of, and don't put the rose quartz on your heart. Just take it and put it in your hand, so you can begin to connect. So the energy can just flow through every one part of your body. Let that energy just flow through your body. Just lay it there in your hand, and you'll connect with all that energy. Because you know there's a heart chakra in your hand, so that's an important. So you're fulfilling that as well. So I ask that you just take this, and at this, when you see this thing, you will notice that you'll flow, and your garden will be in front of you for the things you want to create for this coming up spring and such, and you'll be in a sense of ease, and you'll see them go forward, and at the same time you'll be protected for what's coming forth. And you'll be able to see those energies that are seen to want to dispel where you want to go. You'll see those readily and be able to move them forward. Because all you have to do is say, this doesn't belong to me now. This doesn't belong to me now. This doesn't belong to me now. And I'll move forward. I'm moving forward. Simple as that. Namaste.
Namaste, Earl. That was beautiful.
So next we'll have finish this.